Beyond the Wild.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast, boys and girls. Glad to have you tonight. We've had a fun and activity-filled pre-show this evening. Hoping none of that carries over and we can all settle in and actually bring you some solid content. But it was fun. We had a lot of laughs. Sorry you weren't there. Hopefully we'll be able to make it up on this show. Got myself, Jason, Mark, the whole crew tonight. Go ahead, Mark.
No, we're just having some fun catching up, talking
Hey,
about
Mark,
plans.
could you stand up?
You want to see my pants?
The polar bear jammies I think I just saw.
Oh no,
Not
but
sure.
I have this polar bear ones. These are great. These are elk ones.
Oh, it's okay.
So I
just
ordered these again. I had them for years, and I just wore. I needed a new pair, and I found them online here for $25. They're on sale, and they're 100% cotton, and they're warm. And you know what? The important thing is they're quiet for the podcast. There's no shifting in the chair. It's part of all thinking about all this stuff, planning ahead, and they have elk on them. But I bought another pair that have polar bears that are blue with white polar bears, but they're not quite as comfortable. But anyway. It's a joke of it, right? It's you see these photos of people doing, since COVID, Zoom calls, and all you have to do is dress your upper body. But these are comfortable pants. Yeah, definitely. All about it. This time of year in the winter, summertime, not so much, but in the winter, yeah, they're a good deal. So if you're looking for them, Ron, I know a place. And in fact, the store is named after me here in Canada. It's Mark's Work Warehouse that sells them.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Link in the show notes, boys and girls. Everybody get yourself
great.
some
It's a great gift,
undies.
right? Well, no, but they're like actual pants. You wouldn't wear them out, but to somebody who loves elk, yeah, sitting by the fireplace in the winter, can't beat it. Got the computer.
Use code
editing.
BTW20.
Yeah.
Yep. Jason, do you have any particularly? I don't even know what. I'm not going to use the word I was just going to use. But
you're going to ask me to stand up?
Yeah, I was.
No, just plain old Levi's, boring old Levi's.
Particularly interesting pajamas on tonight.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I am in a hotel room, which is not my favorite place to be to do a podcast, but definitely excited to be with you guys and chatting about the stuff we are going to talk about tonight. So
I just have we did spend a lot of time talking about Churchill, and I got my
Oh, you're playing. Look at that.
Discovery Churchill swag on.
What are the chances of that?
Through.
Yeah,
I love it.
Chances are pretty good. It's one of my favorite sweatshirts, actually.
I can hear you tapping your toes under the desk there, Ron, just so you know.
Yeah, you would think. My dog heard my chair creak and came to make sure it wasn't me getting up because she's been neglected, apparently.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it's not your toes.
So we've got some listener questions and pro tips tonight that we're going to bring to you from several listeners. And Mark, I think, has the list.
Mark's got the list.
Mark's going to take it over.
There's some fun ones.
There is some fun ones.
Yeah, appreciate people sending them in and participating because everybody has new experiences in the field, right? The good and the bad and the who knows. It's to share some of those highlights or learned tips, hacks. It's appreciated and fun. It's interactive. So it's means a lot to us on the podcast to be interactive with you. So it's fun to do these. So appreciate everybody who took the time to send them in.
Yeah. My favorite part? because there's some of these even I haven't done,
Right.
and
We learned
there's a,
too.
there's a couple that I would not do.
Right. Not that they're not great ideas.
Not that they're not great ideas. I just
So
afraid my
well,
neighbors would see.
oh,
All right, take it away, Mark. I'll shut up.
well, no, there's a couple of things. I just want to say I'm a little wonderfully tired. I went on an adventure today. I went looking for snowies. There's still plenty of winter here, but aware that winter is not going to last much longer, to try and have some more experiences in the field with owls and who knows what else. I didn't find the two snowies that were rumored to be where I looked today, but I saw a lot of other wildlife. Had my SUV almost attacked by a gaggle of turkeys. That was fun. I thought they'd get off the road, and then they came right over to say hi. And then I could tell by the look in the eyes of these jakes, the vehicle was muddy at this point. It was dirt roads, but I thought they might see their reflection and start hammering on the side of the vehicle. But so I left. But it was fun. It's always fun to get out and see things. I saw both bird and animal species that I didn't expect to today, and so I'm a little tired now, but it's all good. And maybe going tomorrow with friend of the podcast, recent episode guest Nick White, to look for a great gray owl. And have a few trips planned. Got a trip planned this weekend for a spot where I've heard of somebody that saw 9 different snowies yesterday. And a friend of mine lives in that area, so I'm going to go for the, first afternoon or day and see how productive it is and whether I stay. But anyway, hopefully there's something to report on there that will make up for the lack of snowy stuff with my 2 esteemed co-hosts here. And just to show more behind the scenes, in addition to the elk pants, how much I love my co-hosts, when I work at my computer editing all these hours in the winter, here's my mouse pad.
Nice.
Now, it's the theme, and it actually wasn't too expensive. I would offer a mouse pad to listeners of interest, but I can't remember. I think it was $20 Canadian, but then I'd have to mail it. So, food for thought. But if you want such a thing, then there's a possibility. It works well.
Jason, where are you coming? You're on the road again.
I am in Texas this week, and
Oh,
believe it or not, it's about the same temperature here as it is at home. So that's always weird. But I am looking forward this weekend when I get home. I'm going to run down to southern Utah and go play around with the drone a little bit, I think. Make a quick trip. So, And then next week I head to Alaska. So looking forward to
Going on
getting down there to try to
eagle trip.
photograph some eagles. Yeah. Yep.
that's awesome. Lucky you. I'm only kidding, of course. Wow. That'll
I
be
know.
great to hear about. Yeah, make sure you have it on animal eye detect.
Yeah.
And JPEG. You're going to need to save room on the card, so shoot JPEG.
Yeah.
Be a team player.
Crank that sucker up to 40 frames per second. And
for the record, everybody, Ron was the one who brought that up.
I never hear
company.
that.
Misery
Yeah, I never hear that from
loves
anybody ever. When I'm in the field or on comments, I never hear that.
No.
So.
It's hardly ever the first thing that people say,
Yeah.
except for always.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that our cameras have this? I mean, it's going to continue to evolve and advance at incredible pace. Is technology, no doubt. But we can select an animal eye mode and a bird eye mode, right? It's not just eye; it's that specific now stuff. It's
Ooh, Mark. So our friends at Picture Line, they're going to have these puppies in stock coming soon. But I heard some serious rumors about the new Z or Z9 that's coming out, and the autofocus sounds like
If anybody listening would like to
Insane.
purchase a Z or a Z9, message me.
I think
Some
we talked
vi-
about this last time, didn't we? It's something
some
about a global
videos.
shutter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be global shutter. It
Oh,
doesn't
interesting.
sound like. That's the
Oh,
newest rumor, but it is going to be stacked, and it is going to have some red sensor technology.
Hmm.
did you hear when? I mean, is there any talk about
Uh, I didn't, but it's coming fast, so the information's coming fast
like
now and
spring, summer?
starting to be consistent. So yes,
Hmm.
spring, summer. Yep, for an announcement. I don't know about delivery yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'll be right in the middle of fall season when I can't access it. And you know, I love the cameras I have. I don't,
Hmm.
but it's one of those things that, doing it professionally, if the tool does advance significantly, it's very tempting, right? But
Yeah.
every generation of these cameras now has been so far incredible with what they can accomplish. And uh, here's an embarrassing, what's the word? Not statement, but something I just updated my Z or Z9s, the last 4 firmware updates I hadn't done because they were working great. And with the last one, which I assume was probably going to be the last big one with the rumor of another camera coming out, I just did those this past week and used today. Seemed to work great as it should, as far as it's supposed to improve things. But that I have a quote that I wanted to read first and share, but it leads me into one of these pro tips because 2 of my lenses also were ready for a firmware update. So always check on that too, not just the bodies. There's a chance it's less frequent and they're not as significant as far as file size, etc. But check your lenses as well as your bodies for firmware updates because there could be improvements to be had there that would only take you a matter of 15 minutes for your gear. So I don't know. It kind of struck me at first, and it still does. Still does. There's so many ways to think about photography, and Ansel Adams. Most of you probably heard of him. Black and white, amazing landscape photographer from 1902 to 1984. Talk about a different era of photography, right? For equipment, for
Hmm.
approach. Huge respect. And his quote, and it's funneled around social media. I've seen it a couple of times over the past few weeks. You don't make a photograph with a camera. You bring to the act of photography all the pictures you have seen, the books you have read, the music you have heard, and the people you have loved. So basically, everything you are, bring to the
Hmm.
photographs. And it's deep thoughts, but fun to reflect on.
Yeah, it
Last
hurts a little
night,
bit when I think about all the ones I've thrown out.
pardon?
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's uh, yeah. We could go in a few directions with that.
Yeah, right.
Um, so last night I showed up for the second monthly meeting of the Quinte Wildlife Photography Club, which is a local club that again Nick, who was on recent podcasts, a 2-part series, had the initiative to start, and it's formed close to 50 people in a couple of months, and it's a great. Seemingly, it seems like it's going to be a wonderful, great community, and I love the in person. Right? I don't know. I work a lot on my own, and I travel. I mean, I love the guiding and sharing. That's very social, but I have a lot of time editing and some of the shooting on my own and stuff that's quiet. So having a community of other photographers, and then specifically wildlife, I think has a lot of fun potential. So I bring it up for two reasons, to reflect on that and think about it in the communities where you live. It's not, where Nick's been doing it, the hall was like $50 a night. So it looks like each member will do $50 a year, which would leave some for guest speakers and stuff like that. And has established a Facebook page and ways to communicate with one another, which is good, because if somebody wants to do a day trip, maybe, and if they're looking for company, there's ways to reach out. So thinking about establishing something like that where you live is a good way to network, build community, build friendships, share information, and learn, as we always continue to do. Last night, the other reason I bring it up is listener and friend of the podcast, Jim Buck, was there, and I met him for the first time, which was a great treat. And he has one of the pro tips for tonight's episode. So I thought we'd lead off with his, and it's one that's kind of funny. You wouldn't expect it to happen. And I don't mean it as a mockery to Jim in any way. It could happen to any of us in the wintertime. But so his message says, a quick pro tip from an amateur for those that live in cold weather areas: make sure your vehicle windows are not frozen before heading out. I saw a beautiful barred owl beside my truck. Perfect setting, eye level, etc. I turned my truck off so I wouldn't get the exhaust in my photos. I went to lower my window to get some shots, only to realize my window was frozen. I drove away and left him to do his thing. Lesson learned. So, yeah, move the window before you go. But, it's wonderful that people can be humble and share failures, right? Too. Jim's got some great images. He's on Instagram. You can see his work there. Travels a lot throughout Canada. And, but hadn't thought about rolling. There's days you go, right? And all of a sudden, if it's that cold out, which it has been this winter in Eastern Canada and Northeast US too, that could be a problem.
Yeah, I don't turn the heater on in my vehicle, so that can be a problem, because
With friends?
You don't get they are told to dress warm.
No, I
That's
have to
my
monitor.
friendly advice.
Yeah.
I do know some people though that turn on the car alarm when they're maybe not supposed to.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about.
It snowballed nicely tonight for Ron.
Started off with a confession, and then they just pile it on. Boys and girls, it's nice to have friends. It's all right. I didn't invite them on the trip I got coming up, so. Anyway, yeah, so keep the heat haze out.
Well,
don't turn the heater on.
Yeah, and if a subject's not close to the vehicle, if you can get out, it's better too, right? Because then with the engine, you got to watch that off the hood,
because there's
the window.
Body heat even can change things. So,
and some people might be wondering, why would he just drive away, right? Why wouldn't he just get out and take an opportunity?
That owl off, and that's
right.
Good on Jim for not cracking that door and pushing the owl.
Yep, exactly.
All right, we're going to jump through different seasons here tonight. Here's a good one and a fun one from Wandering Pelican on Instagram. We'll give the Instagram pages for these photographers and obviously encourage all of you as part of the community to check them out. A Wandering Pelican says, use a cheap fry pan and ball head as a tripod or as support for your camera when photographing shorebirds.
Yeah,
not a cast iron frying pan, probably.
Well, you can.
I suppose it'd be even heavier, right? As far as base.
It's like a nice heavy skimmer plate, and you can buy them. usually plastic, put some rocks in them or sand or whatever to get some weight on them. And you can use a ball head or a gimbal. If you look at Stan Tequila, who does some wonderful loon tours that I usually take my guests with, Stan has a bar set up on the front of the boat that he mounts gimbals on, and it makes for some nice, really, really low angle shots that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Now, the danger in that is the mounting process, making sure everything's locked down tight and your Arca Swiss plate is in the gimbal firmly and completely. Whereas on a skimmer plate, you might slide out in the surf a little bit, but it isn't necessarily as dangerous having that camera drop off typically. But that is a great idea. You slide along, shoot from your belly, and get those great low angle shots. Nothing better. It does change the image significantly if you can get eye level. Some of those shorebirds, are just a few inches tall.
Yeah,
So that is a
sanderlings.
good one.
A group of sanderlings
Yeah.
running along the beach. That's so much fun. But yeah, the whole point, is getting low. I mean, that's for angle. So to have some weighted support for your camera and not having it in the sand, right? And being vulnerable to sand, stuff like that.
I would add that the benefit to that, some people might be saying, well, why wouldn't I just lay down and shoot, handheld? And a lot of people do and can, and it's okay to do that if you're not waiting and sitting for a long period of time. But there's times when you're shooting a longer lens, like you say, I'm shooting my 600 with a 1.4 on it, and trying to lay down and hold that thing at the right angle, waiting for a specific thing to happen, it can be very tedious and wear you out pretty quick. So having something like that is worth it. I don't use it all the time, but I have one and I use it, frequently enough that it's definitely worth it. Yeah. So, and I think that's a great idea to save some money. I mean, you can go to the Salvation Army or the Best or Deseret Industries or whatever your local surplus store might be, and potentially get a cheap frying pan that would serve, drill it right in the center, put that gimbal on there. I use a gimbal on mine, and I think that's a great idea, great tip, and probably more useful than people might think.
And
Yeah.
nobody wants sand in their goatee by laying on the sand to get the angle down low, right? So remember your articulating screen on most of the cameras now too.
Yeah,
So
you can even rest your neck.
yeah, right? That's how uncomfortable. You have to lay on your side. I mean, it can be done, but like
Yeah.
Jason was saying, over a period of time. I love the articulating screen when doing sunset images of the animals because, there's often, even just the head of an animal against a silhouette is beautiful. But to me, the best ones show, if it's a mammal, show its legs as well, not just its torso and head. I mean, go for it, get anything we can. But to get the legs, the lower we can get to the ground, the better chance of that for angle, unless it's on a hillside in front. But articulating the screen can be a game changer in some situations to save your neck and strain over time and get lower. Just watch blades of grass and debris or branches and stuff like that don't end up getting in the image. Being mindful of that as well. But low is often better. And yeah, what a great way on the beach from Wandering Pelican. Here's a good one. This is really important because we all shoot in adverse weather at times. AK Fox 19 has suggested that test your reindeer at home in the rain gear, not reindeer. I like those too. Test your rain gear at home in the shower before your trip, everybody.
That's the one that I'm afraid my neighbors would see.
Well, my first thing comes to mind is that you must have a really nice big window in your washroom. But yeah,
You never know. Communal living is difficult with some things.
Yeah, well, no, if you know, if you got a little window and there's a 2-story or 3 or 4-story building next door, you just never know. But testing your rain gear at home in the shower to see if it actually works. I'm assuming. I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know if there's humor intended in this or not because that's
You
the
know
joy of.
what? I don't think so because it's Alaska, and
Oh,
Alaska
you're
rain is
right.
different.
You're
Alaska rain
right.
is different than
Coastal, yeah,
lower 48 rain for
you're
certain.
right. Good catch. So this is. So I thought at first this was to be funny, because we always love spinning some humor. But yeah, if you were doing a spirit bear trip, you want your rain gear to work, right, and have the right
Yeah, you want to
materials.
use
So
the real rubber stuff, not
yeah,
just the Gore-Tex, because it'll push right through the Gore-Tex eventually.
I'm having this is turning out all right. Yeah, this is, and that's it, right? Rubber is something. Uh, I was going to say something, but you guys would jump all over it with too much fun. The With your hiking, you don't want the rubber. If you're moving, you're just going to sweat. But if you're in a
Right.
boat or somewhere there's not much movement, but it's going to be just a soaking wet day, that's the go-to. So on some of these trips, you may want both types of rain gear
Yeah, for
and
sure.
testing the shower. I mean, everybody. I know not everybody will admit it, but we all want a viral video, right? So rain gear in the shower, singing a song. You don't have to, maybe some shampoo in the hair, and there you go. And it's discreet.
I don't think they're wanting to test the inside of it, Mark.
No, I know. No, it's a good tip because then if it's pouring rain, does it work?
Yeah.
Right? If you're in it for hours, which happens, especially in these trips, when you're anywhere on a long hike or in a boat, you could have torrential rain for hours. So it is a good, yeah, great tip. So here's another. Hunting with a lens, underscore between each word. Sign up for your airline's credit card for preferred boarding to avoid gate checking gear. And I know we've touched on this in other pro tip episodes over the years, but there's an element of that because, my level just dropped on the airline I fly on because I didn't do enough flights with just them last year. Got to earn it back. And it was really nice this year because I noticed going at check-in with my backpack with all my camera gear, it's big. It will not fit in the checked luggage, the little thing that they used to use to test, and maybe sometimes still do. I don't see it a lot, but I'm sure it's there for a reason. But it will fit on any plane in overhead. I know that because I have been in the smaller planes, almost any, except for the one from Churchill coming back. It would not fit. But being at a higher zone to get on the plane because of the preferred points accrued with the airline, they did not ask people in zone 1 or 2 boarding about their bags, right? So if you do travel a lot, and I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but if you do travel a lot, there's some sensibility to having a loyalty to a preferred
Mm-hmm.
airline and a loyalty program in place. There are benefits to it. There are kickbacks. In addition to that, there's the lounges too. We enjoy that if we happen to be laid over or if a plane is delayed for some reason for 4 or 5 hours, going to the lounge is nice because it's the food and beverages are included and all of that. It's more comfortable, fewer people usually. So it's a good tip.
You know what I always hear about, Mark, is how nice it is in the Delta Lounge. And, I hear it from, Kelly and these folks that Jason travels with. And then I find that he's never invited me into the Delta Lounge. I'm,
Uh,
I'm just saying.
you're always invited, buddy. I think part of the challenge is you actually have to come with me.
Well, that is true. Touche.
It's the snowy owl country, my friends.
Oh,
Jeez.
don't get me started.
Some of those lounges have windows that you can see down to the gate areas too. So, Jason could sit by the window and always wave and stuff too. If you want.
And he does. That's the thing.
All right. Moving on before.
Before feelings get hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
Too late.
To another wonderful friend of the podcast, Deirdre Denali Photography. A great tip she sent in. And to go back and watch her episode if you haven't. We hope you all have, but it's a fantastic one to hear about and as well. It was a lot of fun to do, Deirdre. Thank you. Did we do 2 with her yet?
We did.
Or did we do
Yeah.
the winter
No, we
one? Did
did
you
2.
guys? You did the winter one and I missed it. Is that what, or was it 2 over the 2 podcasts, like the previous show and this show? I know
No.
we did 1 I was on.
We did 2.
We did 2.
Okay.
Yep. We caught up
I
with
was
her
on
on
the
some weird
second one.
projects, but
I missed it.
yeah.
Sorry,
I think you
dude.
missed one of them. Yeah.
Apparently.
Wanted to be here.
She's really fun to follow along with on her adventures, like we talked about in the podcast. For those who heard it, I mean, she's so active, and she's got some really fun things going on right now with some personal achievements and some opportunities for her. That's kind of fun to follow along. So if you're not following, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, congratulations, Deirdre, and that's wonderful to hear. And it's great to follow people who motivate and inspire and create enthusiasm, and Deirdre does that 100%. So her tip is, if you're in super hot region, which is where she is in the Southwest, 90 plus degrees in sun, put a white cotton hanky over your camera, as it'll help keep it cool. It's no longer a dark colored object, I guess, right?
There is a rumor that that's why Canon painted their big lenses white.
Yep. I've heard
Same
that.
effect.
Very, very smart of that company.
Yeah, it's there's a second part. It says it prevents overheating more than any other thing you could do aside from staying home. Yeah, great finish.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Great comedic spin there. You know what's funny is I think I saw this when we were kind of passing them around, and just a side note, when we were down in the Pantanal, our cameras, we noticed that you're in the sun all day on the river, and we noticed those cameras getting real hot just sitting there, to the point where it's kind of difficult to do long videos and stuff. Some of the cameras of the other folks on the trip were shutting down after some video clips and that, right? Just because of the heat. And they were not Canon, by the way, just FYI. But because of that, Kelly and I were talking about it, and he went home. His wife loves to sew, and he and his wife designed this great drawstring white soft cloth cover that you can put over your camera with a battery grip and, cinch it shut when it's in the heat to do that very thing. So Deirdre's point is well taken, and I think it's a great idea. And I haven't put it to the test yet, but there's no doubt in my mind, especially after hearing this from her, that that would work. It would definitely help keep the heat off. So, anyways, I'm not aware of anything you can just buy out there. Deirdre is saying to use a white cloth or something. We took another step to just have his wife custom make us a couple, and so we have something we can just throw in the bag and always have it with us. But kind of seems like it might be a good idea for a company out there to make something. Seems like it would be something that could sell. So anyways, side note.
How much would Kelly's wife charge to make those?
That's a good question. Maybe if we get enough orders.
Podcast.
Yeah. Right. We could even brand them BTW, but I don't know. You know what? If we get enough interest, who knows? I would assume that she'd be willing to put a price to it and make a bunch potentially, but I don't know. I don't want to sign Kelly or his wife up for anything that they're not interested in doing. But
yeah, and
if there's interest out there, ping us, and
I don't want everybody to have a Sony-sized white cover.
Well, it's if you're doing photography in hot temperatures, it makes sense. It's easy to pack, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
T-shirt,
very.
no
put a
weight at
t-shirt
all.
Yeah.
in your camera bag.
Yep.
Um, I've often, if I have more than one, I've taken my hat off and I mean, you can't shoot with it on, but if you're not shooting, I'll just flip the hat over the camera, and like even the brim of the hat can go over the lens, and my hats aren't white because that usually doesn't jive with wildlife photography except for caribou, and even then I don't wear the white, but because it's not always caribou, there's moose, other things you don't want to fight them off, but just covering it can't, having something in your bag if you're in a hot climate to do it makes total sense
It really
without,
does. It's a good tip.
yeah, without adding weight. So, like I said, another great friend of the podcast, Mike Fay, Fair FX Mike on Instagram, suggests nuts for nutrition. Just a handful here and there will buy you more time behind the lens. And for those that can have nuts, we'll throw that out there. But if you can't, right? So, but it's true, right? Those they carry you for a long time, and yeah, it's a great tip. I'm gonna go grab something I want to show you guys while you
Little
comment on this.
trail mix bag. I like the little single serving trail mix bags. Those are my go-to snack, unless it's really
Yeah.
hot and then the M&Ms melt. But
They add a little flavor to the mix, though.
right, make it a little tougher to get out of the packaging. But yeah,
For
go
years,
ahead,
I was
Mark.
packing Cliff Bars, and then I think this year mostly switched. I think if my memory serves, Lara bars. They're only like two or three ingredients, and they're smaller, but they were great to have in the pack. All kinds of different flavors available all over the place from the giant store you're all aware of online as well. And you buy them in a pack, and I usually buy a pack or two different flavors, throw them in my hockey bag, which is what I use to travel pack on trips, because a hockey bag is flexible and it can accommodate whatever I put in it. And they're not expensive, but they're quite durable. Sorry, I'm spinning off into another tip here. Sorry, Mike, I'll get back to the nuts in a second. But it's they have wheels on the bottom, and they've got handles on the end, easy to get through the airport. And I get a cinch belt to go around the middle. So no matter how full or mid full or whatever the hockey bag is, it's an easy way to transport the gear on any given trip that I go on. And years ago, they used to come out on the oversize, and that hasn't happened in a long time. They come out with regular luggage, and I have to check in on oversize. But sometimes that line's shorter. So that could be a welcome thing as well. But I just want to show you guys, I don't usually do a lot of guilt tripping, but I'm doing this because, I try to not put on any extra weight over the winter time. But, when you guys were coming, I bought a thing of nuts to have in the vehicle for the days in the field that we all could just kind of have to keep going through the day. Just keep looking for owls or who knows what. But since nobody's been here over the past month, I've been eating them. And here it is. So now I probably have some weight I've got to lose.
Hey, wait, could
Thanks.
you hold up that empty container again? I mean, I just wanted to see.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can blame the
It was full when
box
you
of
guys,
mixed nuts. Yeah,
but I do the same thing. Even when I'm editing, it's like, what? It's not time for lunch. I don't want to take enough time to do that. I'll just have a handful of that, of
might be
nuts.
the beverages you choose to consume while you're editing, rather than the
Not beer nuts. No.
mixed nuts. Have anything to blame for the winter.
Oh, well, it is winter. It's a different season.
Who's next? Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. It's an easy one, and there's so much
It was.
variety in that food group to find out there, right? And right, Manuel Rivera, friend of the podcast, friend of you gentlemen. You've met him in the field. I haven't had the privilege as of yet. Um, he's got a
Shot
couple of.
longhorn. I shot longhorns with Manuel in Texas a couple years back, and that's where I got my chigger bites. So,
Oh yeah, blame Manny.
oh, it's not his fault. Not at all. It's me.
Sorry, chigger bites. You say?
Yes.
Have you ever had chiggers, Mark, when you've gone to visit your friend in Carolinas?
No, our homes don't have those. I don't.
No,
They're
no,
in
not in
the
the
they're in
home.
the grass.
If you're dumb enough
No,
to lay
but
down in the field
I've
Yeah,
trying to
never
get
had.
low angle
I don't know what
shots
they
of
are.
the,
they're
They're not a.
nasty.
yeah.
So is it like a black fly or a no
No,
seam?
No,
Or
they're really tiny,
they
but
okay.
they
yeah.
are boring
Oh,
parasites that get under your skin
oh,
and
that
they get
sounds
nasty.
bad.
You have to, yeah. Like the cheapest way to do it is get some clear fingernail polish and
Okay,
paint over all the bumps, and it
right. They
forces them
can't.
out. But
They can't breathe.
yeah,
Really?
they're bad.
That's real pleasant.
I did. My one of my favorite and least favorite courses in university was parasitology because there's some
Yeah,
that are
right.
super cool and other ones that are just so gross, right? But it's so yeah. I have not in the Carolinas. Are they there? I haven't had
I
that.
think. I mean, they're in the southern U.S. everywhere that's humid, so I would think they would be, but I can't say with 100% certainty.
So educating me and our audience, then where are they found and how do you avoid them? What's
Just in the grass. I mean, they're basically
beach grass,
where
wet grass, swamp grass?
short
Yep.
grass is actually
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's more. Yep.
is where I've only had one experience with them, and that was enough. And then I just stayed out of the grass. But we were traveling to a youth conference. It was a 3-day trip going to San Antonio, Texas, on a bus. And so you coop up a bunch of high school boys on a bus for a few days, and the first rest area we got to where we could have a football game, we did, and you end up getting tackled or tackling people and rolling around in the grass, and that's how I came to know what chiggers were. Still had
wow.
no idea, but we learned
Yeah.
real quick how to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So real quick, for everybody, I did a quick search and did the AI overview thing, right? So outdoors in damp, shaded, and overgrown areas, specifically in tall grass, weeds, berry patches, and leaf litter. They're commonly found in transition zones between woods and open lawns where they hide near the soil surface. They prefer humid, warm, and bushy environments where small rodents or birds are present. So yeah, in basically fields and,
Everywhere.
everywhere basically, and where it's warm and humid. So
Yeah.
just don't lay down when you're photographing in those environments. Probably best to not lay down.
Or yeah, have yourself covered.
Yeah, have
Long
yourself covered
sleeves.
well.
Yeah.
Yep. And don't lay down on a fire ant patch either. That's another one to
Yeah.
avoid.
That's a good pro tip, Jason.
Right. Always look where you're laying down when you're in the South. I mean, everything wants to bite you, stick you, poke you,
Right. Oh, take a moment. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Wow. Well, I've been
And I've
educated.
learned both of those the hard way. Now we can move on to Manuel's question or tip.
Oh no,
Sorry.
but now we've got something on you. Okay.
Oh
That's
boy, you ever? Yeah.
well, it's an innocent experience. You didn't, yeah, but still. Oh, I didn't.
Don't let him off the hook.
Oh, I've learned the hard way. Usually, like I do, So
I've never heard of them. I mean, or I didn't know what they were. If somebody had said the word, I assumed it was like a no-see-em or something. Small
Right.
bloody fly.
Similar results.
Right. Well, it sounds
Super
like this is a little harder to
itchy
get
and-
rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can be.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to his pro tip here.
Yeah. Okay. We're back.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, so one of them is whether you're shooting in. I love how he phrased this. Great job. Whether you're shooting in Central Park, New York City, or Yellowstone, early Sunday mornings are the best times to get out during the busy times of the year. Mornings generally have fewer people anywhere. Try to avoid booking trips when the majority of schools are taking their summer breaks. Yeah. So that
And
Sunday mornings, right? Makes sense.
Manuel does shoot everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So he gets around all over the place for kind of wherever his job finds him and gets a lot of good variety. So yeah, it's a good tip, good observation.
I have his written down
He's
by
got a really
hand.
good eye too. If you're not following his page, he's got a really good eye. I really like his photography. I mean, I'm being genuine about that. He photographs, like you said, on everything: city, um, you know, lifestyle, landscapes, critters. Yeah, he's got a really good eye for all kinds of photography. So
Is his Instagram? I know I do follow him. I'm familiar with him for sure. But is it just his
it's
name?
Manuel Rivera dot photography
Okay.
on Instagram.
Uh,
This
yeah.
awkward pause that will be cut
Right.
out
No. No.
as
I
we're
mean,
looking at his page.
yeah. Exactly. That's how good it is. We're all just distracted. That happens with the wonderful imagery. Yeah.
And there's a
Yeah.
little Manny coming soon.
Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah.
He does add another one that's great too, and just straightforward and a good reminder for people. But yeah, the mornings, just to quickly add to that, anywhere for mornings, sunrise. I mean, it's one of the most active times of day for animals and birds, and more, and not for people, right? So even there's places that, I've traveled on a family vacation that's been a busy tourist spot that I decided to do some wildlife, but sunrise for the first 2 or 3 hours of the day is a wonderful time to get out. So it's a great advice to keep in mind, especially during busy seasons. And he also suggests the best way to improve your photography is to shoot more, right? I mean, that's
Fact.
get in the field, parks, backyards, take a different route home from work. Never leave your camera at home.
But when you do, you'll see the most unique wildlife behavior ever. That's just Murphy's Law.
That does happen.
So another
That's
little tip about, or a little unknown fact about Manuel is he actually plays the accordion.
that's
He
cool.
does. Well, he
It is,
plays
and
it.
he collects them. He's got quite a few. He actually got to play with for us when we were in elk camp a couple years back, and that was a very awesome experience. He's very talented when it
He
comes to that.
plays
So, anyways,
well.
yeah,
Yeah, lots
he
of
does
people
play
play
very
the
well.
accordion, but he plays it well.
Yeah, he plays very well. Yes, good point. I could play it. It would make no good sounds, but I could play it. Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
plays well.
What you got, Mark?
So here's one from another guest that's been on the podcast, another one to look back and enjoy if you haven't already, Mitch DeCock. He suggests wearing Milwaukee knee pads to get and stay low without aggravating the knees. I can attest to this in Wyoming when photographing sage grouse when there's a skiff of snow over cactuses.
Over the cactus. Yeah, that, I do remember that, actually.
But even in some of the barren landscapes with caribou, it just takes the smallest pebble when that knee goes down and it looks, or a twig or a piece of wood in the undergrowth that can affect your ability or my ability to take the pictures for the next 30 seconds.
As you roll to the floor and grab your knee and
It doesn't, yeah, one little pebble. So, I mean, knee pads are harder to hike in, but if you're not hiking and there's situations, or if it's cold or icy, wintertime in the snow, and they weigh virtually nothing. I have a set in my car all the time. And so,
The reason that he said the Milwaukee ones, though, they're kind of a contractor type thing, is they have hard plastic. And so you get kind of double protection from the pebbles or from the cactus and thorns and things like that. But if when walking with them, put them like on the side of your calf. Don't walk with them over your knee. And then when you get in location, then you can just pull them up. But I'm also going to add to that the knee pads, or that kind of protective or gel knee pad is great. And then take a foam wedge to basically sit on. So you're not putting a lot of pressure on your knees. You're not putting a lot of pressure on the muscles in those groups. Slide the wedge right behind your knee and then just kind of lean back on it. Super comfortable. You can stay there for hours with no problem at all. And your legs don't fall asleep like they do, if you're just down on your knees. But yeah, that's a really good tip. Invest in a good pair of knee pads with plastic covering to give you that little bit of extra protection. Because although I thought I would, be tougher in my old age, but things just seem to be more sensitive.
Even on a boat, right? Or like if you're in an aluminum boat anywhere, putting the knees down,
Right.
it's great to them to have them in your kit.
Yeah, for sure.
Find a trip that they could be useful. So yeah, it's great advice. I was just trying to look up. I know we mentioned it on a previous podcast, and I have them open because I keep watching for prices to change before this year's trips. But there was that folding pad to sit on that folds down into this like
Oh,
3
yeah.
foot high. Billy picked
Yeah.
one up. Guests of ours, Haley and Tom, if you're listening, had them this year, and they were great because it's comfortable to sit on. There's no weight to them. They can attach to the side of your camera pack and keep your.
You did that as a pro tip after, so it would have been probably November of
Yeah.
25. It was after your caribou camp, I know.
Yeah, I wanted to find it because of the name, but again, it was on. I mean, you find them in any outdoor gear, but yeah, they were accordion folded into 4 pieces, like it was 4 folds or 4 sections, but it's all one unit and folds down into this collapsed pad, but for packing, and then opens up to sit on or kneel on if you didn't have, but sitting the main thing. So it's a nice thing too, is if you're in the field and are taking a break, for whatever reason, for a few hours, it's something to sit on, damp morning or uncomfortable ground. It can help with that. Going through, I had another one here. Zach D. Wildlife. Have a function button on your camera set up for single point focus in case your normal back button focus isn't finding. So this is assuming you do back button focus. I know most people do. I do not. That's controversial. I know.
I don't either.
So many people do. It's the vast majority, right? But I find it slows it down. But it's something, the function buttons. I like Zach's tip. I mean, I'm not finding fault with the back button focus. Everybody has personal preferences. All our settings, I shoot aperture, priority, et cetera, et cetera. It might be different than many of you or not, but that's all part of a community, right? So this is a good tip for many reasons, but I think that our cameras have so many function buttons now. I was talking to a friend of the podcast, Mark Jones, not too long ago, and on the Z9, there's 3 on the front, and he set them for different types of focus depending on what he was doing in that situation. And I think Dave Rothwell told me that too. He had done that, so it's just a fast way to change. So I like the idea of bringing up function buttons and thinking about your camera, this piece of technology, and the different things you use it for, and what to set up for the rapid change, right? Too.
But the back button, yeah. So let's go back. The back button focuses on whatever setting you have it on. So if you have it on single point, your back button focus is still going to focus just on that single point. And if you have it on you know, animal eye detect, your back button focus is going to focus on that animal eye detect. And I was just talking to somebody that had this issue uh, on snowy owls, actually, because it was having a hard time. It was a male, so there's not a lot of color to it. It's all white, having a lot of trouble identifying where that bird was. And she didn't have it set to single point, and she didn't have a function button. So what he's talking about is you can set one that'll toggle between two focus types. So you might have it on animal subject detect, and then you can toggle that. Just hit it once, it'll toggle to single point, and you move your point and compose your image, and it just goes back and forth between those two focus settings. And I think it does give you a better opportunity. And I just use the function button that's right next to the asterisk that a person would use for back button focus. And I'll tell you why I don't is because my thumb is always recomposing, moving the focus point around. And so my thumb is occupied. So if I have to focus with it also, I would miss way too many shots. So I just don't use it. I use single point focus a lot for that reason.
So real quick, if I can add to that, I love this. This is a great tip. I think there's so many different ways to approach something like this. So my way of shooting now that I found works well for me is I actually do use back button focus, but I use it as an alternative method, right? So my shutter button is always set at single point, and that's my default. And if I see a situation where I feel like I can use my tracking effectively, then it's set up on my back button. So I think, yes, you do have to hold that down, but I only use it when I feel like I can track. And then if I'm in a situation where I'm shooting eagles, for example, and I know I'm going to be tracking every time, I can always switch my shutter button to be, for, focus tracking.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about my back button. So anyways, I think it's interesting to hear how different people approach this stuff because everybody has their way of doing it, which works for them. And there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever works best for you. But those are all options, right? That all of us can try with all the cameras that we have nowadays because they're so customizable.
Yeah. And out of those multiple options, there's no right one. It's just whatever works for you, just like Jason just said. Whatever your brain can acquire the quickest and be able to transition from one thing to the other because you have the ability, given our camera bodies now, modern camera bodies. So you might as well take advantage of everything that piece of equipment has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little pro tip is don't make a big change like that right before you go on a big shoot.
Yeah. Go out
Because you might
practice.
find yourself,
Yeah.
right, exactly. You might find yourself missing shots because you're defaulting to your muscle memory. So,
Yeah, it goes back to Manny's, right? Just get out there and shoot.
Shoot more.
Yep.
Yeah.
And experiment. Do it when you have time just to play. Yeah, thanks, Zach. Appreciate that one. What do you guys? This is one from me. My safety deposit box at the bank doubled in price this year. After 20 some years of being relatively the same, they decided to double the price. So I have hard drives, backup in the bank, in the safety deposit box. And it's thinking of changing that. So it's not that expensive to buy a fireproof, relatively small safe and keep it at a friend or loved one's off-site, right? I mean, that's the whole idea, is to have one significant or two or whatever you need backups off-site somewhere in case of fire, theft, but fires would be that concern. So I wouldn't, just to keep that in mind, I've heard, unfortunately, a few cases over the years of people having things go south with their libraries, and you hate to have that happen because of there's so much put into the collection of work that everybody does out there. So it's not a lot to get a fireproof mini safe box and store it at somebody who you trust and have something offsite that way. So to keep that in mind because it's there's I don't know, reveal some personal funny thing about me right now. I haven't had time to put mine in the safety deposit box since this fall's trips. So I have 2 5 terabyte small hard drives in the pocket of my coat all the time. Because the other ones are, by the computer or something, and it's just to have that. Because there's way too much work put into this fall to have it vanish until it can get into a box. But so, what do you guys do for that? For the library? I mean, some people do the cloud now, right?
Yeah, there's offsite options with the cloud, and I only do finished images on the cloud. Amazon Prime, you can do images, but I only do finished, edited, printable type images there. But I guess if you want a safety deposit box for cheap, just get a job at the bank, Mark. That's all I can say. We get them for free.
Hey, just ship them to Ron. He'll store them for you.
Further, have a good friend who has a job at the bank.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Now he says it. I don't know how many years I've known Ron. You know what? That could have bought me another camera.
Yeah, it's just like all the hair dye products that I didn't buy bought me mine.
No, you've got a great look about it there, so that's all right. No, it's
You know the saying, right? Never buy a boat or a pool. Have a friend with a boat or a pool.
Yeah.
Could I go to hot tub too? Probably not. Sorry.
Probably. You can find somebody. You can find somebody that's willing to let you come over. You just got to make sure that they take care of their hot tub, or you end up with a rash. Unexplainable.
Oh yeah, no, that's a whole other podcast. But yeah, they. I think most of my closest friends have hot tubs, but I hardly, when I see them, it doesn't happen that often, unfortunately. But yeah, I can appreciate the importance, right? It's good for those in Eastern Canada where the black-legged tick that carries Lyme disease is a problem through the seasons that it's active. Obviously not right now in the winter, but to be in the field, to have a hot tub to go into at the end of the day in the field, these ticks breathe air. So it's a good thing to help manage that.
Yeah.
And relax the muscles after carrying that backpack with all the camera gear.
Yeah. I the way I approach that is I don't have any online storage. I do the multiple drives, and I have, some saved in a fireproof safe at the house, and then I have my normal drives. Then I only do this with like Ron said, with my edited images, but I have another drive that I keep right now. I keep it offsite at my work. So
yeah, great.
It is important, I think, and it's something I didn't do before, but after listening to you guys talk about it multiple times, I do think it's important to have something with at least your edited images in some offsite type storage, because even with a fireproof safe, right, in my home, for example, it's a very highly rated, not a cheap safe, but it's, they can fail with a hot enough, long enough fire. And so you still could potentially lose files and things and belongings in that safe if the fire is hot enough and burns long enough. So,
yeah, nobody wants that to happen. And hard drives, 18 to 24 terabyte. Again, if you're doing finished pictures, that's not even required, right? If it's just high-res JPEGs. But, for $400, you can get a hard drive that you can put somewhere else. Just, it's one of those things, if you can mention it and one person doesn't go through that experience out there over years of collecting images, it's worth thinking about, to be honest. Yeah. Be prepared for and have it offsite. What do you think, guys? Should we roll any more, or we're an hour and 7?
We've got a few left over that I think would make for a great next show, or at least the beginnings of another show. This was good.
Questions too. We've got those.
Yeah. No, there was some good stuff there that everybody should think about.
I learned some things. I appreciate everybody being willing to share.
Yeah, here's a quick one. I haven't tried this before. Sorry, just to, if I can find it fast enough. Yeah. Have you guys tried this for cold weather shooting when bringing your camera inside? I pack mine in my camera bag, which has got padding. It's fairly insular, right? And pull the memory card. We've talked about this, I think, recently on the show. Pull the memory card so then you can work with it. You don't have to wait for that to
And
acclimatize.
batteries. Yeah.
And batteries, get them charging. But leaving the camera for many hours in an insulated backpack to adjust to the warmer temperature of the house. I mean, I've heard of people and we didn't do this in Churchill. We brought everything in and I just left it in the pack that way too. But it was mostly in the vehicle, although still need to acclimatize. But T Bear Bates Photography on Instagram, I could be wrong. I think Terry, sorry. But T Bear, as in the animal, Bear Bates Photography, a large Ziploc to bring your camera inside from out in the cold to prevent condensation. Would a Ziploc, I know it would help. Would it, I think it's great advice, and it adds to it. I've never experimented to know, would that be enough?
I know a plastic garbage bag is.
It
You just
is,
have
is
to
it?
you just have to make sure they're not the perforated, because some of them are like they'll let a little bit of air in or out and they're still strong. But yeah, like a nice solid plastic garbage bag, you tie it, fold it, and then tie it again so you're not giving the moisture anywhere to get in.
Okay. So
That's
Ziploc would be similar then, a heavy
Ziploc would
duty.
be similar, yeah, but with the lenses that we all utilize for wildlife typically,
Hmm.
um, Ziploc would be
Smart.
tough. They don't make them too big, or a waterproof bag, a roll top
Right.
waterproof bag, something like that. But yeah, it
Bag. Yeah.
definitely does the trick. I've used garbage bags before in a pinch.
Was that too? Yeah. Keep in mind if you are in a pinch that yeah, you could do that. Oh, cool tip. Thank you. One more. One more. I don't want to leave Brant out. Brant's been
Oh
great over
yeah,
with tips. Brant Bennett, 1_foot_shorter to use checklists. You can have one set for local trips and another set for traveling. It could include things like what to pack, firmware updates, batteries charged, etc. Just things to know, to look at when you're going on an adventure. And how many of us leave, we've got a lot going on in our worlds, right? We throw our stuff together, the getting ready to go on a trip, it's usually quick, right? That things fall into place. So to have checklists is a fail safe to make sure that one's prepared as possible. So it's always something good to have. And, and you can add to them, right? I think that's the thing. You start creating it, and whether it's on paper or in notes on your smartphone, have a checklist in your notes that you can go to just to make sure that all the items that you need to take on your wilderness adventure are there, and it's something you can build over time, or things you need to do before you go with your camera gear and that too.
hey, guess what? Brant saved my bacon,
Nice.
and we were talking on a podcast a while back about the fact that I cannot find my neoprene boots, my dry muck boots type.
Those are so small. Anyways, keep going.
What?
And Brant sent me a pair.
Oh, you have to watch on YouTube. If Jason, say something so we can see you rolling back in your chair.
Oh, I love it.
No, but yeah. So sorry, Ron. Brent.
Because I don't have size 14 feet.
Yeah, right.
So Brant sent me a pair of neoprene boots that he can no longer use. And
Oh, so nice.
That's
I'll
awesome.
let Brant tell you why. But yeah, it was
Yeah,
super generous and very much appreciated. So big shout out to Brant. Thank you very much.
that's
Yeah, that's really
community,
cool.
right? Yeah. So nice of Brand. Wow, thoughtful. Let's all do something thoughtful for somebody else in the near future.
Yeah.
Just do it,
Yeah.
right? Well, good on you, Brant.
So
Yeah. A little bit of effort goes a long way, and it's a kind gesture. Well, guys, I think Jason has finally called it a night in his hotel room because he might have frozen on the screen. Oh no, he was just turned and hold really still. I thought he froze.
I was looking at Brant's page. Just
Okay.
a super nice guy too. He's reached out multiple times, I think, to all of us,
Yeah.
and just a very thoughtful, nice guy. And he has some, he's always out there spreading cheer. Every time I see a photo of him or something on story, he's just smiling. And yeah, anyways, that's the kind of attitude we all need to try to portray, right? So to your point, Mark.
100%. We're here
Yep.
for a good time. So many good people and
Yep.
wildlife, nature, it's all good, right? So much out there. So it's been fun, guys. I love the laughs that we have, and thank you for our listener community for sharing your tips from your experiences in the field. It's great that we can all learn together and move forward, and yeah, it's we appreciate you taking the time to send them in and to interact. It's been a fun episode to put together. Many more great shows coming in the pipeline. Thank you for tuning in, and obviously shout out to our exceptional sponsors, pictureline.com. If you're looking for anything camera gear related, please reach out to Colin Bigelow. He's our contact at Pictureline. Tell him you're coming from Beyond the Wild podcast, and he will look after you exceptionally well, as he has for so many of you. And for those that have done that, thank you. It helps support our show, our efforts, and this weekly production. Thanks to JG, our producer, for putting this together, for adding the elements, for adding the roar of the red stag in an episode that came out not too long ago. Behind the scenes, he has that attention to detail for the audio in this case, and then on YouTube for the video components he puts in, or some of the added. I forget which episode it was, but yeah, there were cheers, and it's like an audience cheering in the background. He added in little touches like that. Appreciate it, JG, very much. And to Canon USA, thank you for your support, and that's very much appreciated. So many of you out there shoot and love Canon, and rightfully so. Guys, always fun. Everybody out there, I hope that the end of winter is going very well for you, and that spring is bringing some, this is cliche, but spring to your step. Well, the guys are going to shut me down. Okay.
you can do better, Mark.
I'm excited for spring, but I'm trying to get in some more owls before winter comes to conclusion. I'd like to get some pine martens in the snow. We'll see what the days ahead, the week ahead has in store. There may be some stories coming up that I hope to be able to share. But Jason, I hope that your travels go well in Texas. Ron, wishing you the best as always. Hope to see you guys soon. On a podcast, obviously, but we got to work on the in-person business. I'm eating way too many nuts this winter. So, and I'm not a squirrel. So, hey, that's not, All right, everybody. Well, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you again on the next episode. Take care and good shooting.
And that's a wrap for another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, pictureline.com, your online source for everything photography, and Canon USA.